Hello friends, today I've been playing around with fall trees, and I thought, oh, this is such a fun technique. I should share it with you guys. I've done this for a long time, and there's a painter, I wish I could remember his name. I don't know if he does this, but I used to watch him years and years ago, and he painted a lot with his fingers, and I thought it was so cool. But anyway, I thought I'd share with you this little fun way to paint a tree. I'm using my Artisto pads. I'm at about the last, hoping to get my Artisto pads in any day. This was my summer 2024, so I'll just journal that right into my summer little journal books. These are those Artisto pads again. They're cold pressed, 140 pound, great texture, love them. They're so good, and I paint on them all the time. And then I'm using today just my MeiLang palette. You can use whatever palette you want. You can use, you know, your Winsor Newtons, whatever you like to paint in. I like these. They're under $20, and I think right now they might still be on sale from Labor Day. But look at all the fantastic colors. So many browns and all these fall colors. Yummy. So I'm going to be using that. I already dabbled in here a bit, but this is my wash and my rinse water. So that's that wonderful Meeden container you see me use all the time, which I love. Real important to wash and rinse your brush. And then let's see, what else have I got here? Oh, my brushes. So I'm going to be using my 8 long round today. Snappy little brush, love it. It's working so well for me. It's a little bit longer, so it's got a great tip, but yet I can get a pretty wide brush stroke out of it. So what I'm going to start with first is, normally I always paint my tree foliage first, and then I go in and add in little branches sticking out. But I think I'm today going to start with the tree branches. So I'm just going to go in here. I think that's the Van Dyke Brown. Loading my brush from the side so I don't ruin that beautiful little tip. And I'm just going to hold about where the crimping is because I want some control here. So I'm going to go ahead and start just making all these little branches coming out. And really a nice, even though in fall, probably a lot of the branches, or at least the foliage, is gone. But we're going to do that. Then I think what I'll use is a little bit of dry brush. So what I mean by that is I'm just going to get some paint on my brush here. And you can tap it off a bit, or so you don't waste the paint, maybe just tap at the bottom of the belly there. And then I'm going to use the side of my brush to get that rough texture. So the belly of the brush is just going to go right over the top of this rough paper. So let's go ahead and do that. Oop. So I get that dry brush effect. That's what I wanted. And then I'm going to go in and just kind of soften that line right there. Maybe let's do a little bit maybe with the yellow ochre. So I'm loading my brush, and let's add in some of that. This is such a great technique for your trees. I'm sure many of you already know this technique, but it's so great. Then I might go in with a little bit of my dark Van Dyke Brown. I've showed lots of ways to, you know, play with making these, the texture there. You can also, let me see if I have one handy here. So I went in there, now it might dry before I get back, but let's see. So here is a card. You can also, yeah, it kind of dried, but you can scratch in a texture. Let me show you that again. Let's see, let's go in. So I'm just gonna go down with some of that. rinse my brush. And now you take that credit card, this is an old credit card, by the way, nothing on it, and just kind of scratch that over and look at that beautiful texture it gives you. You can also scratch into that, you know, if you wanted to make some lines on the trees, something like that. And then I might just go in on the bottom and add some green here. Just use this green I've got in my palette. And I'm going to use a little bit of that dry brush here as well. And just add some green at the bottom. So really easy. But this is what I wanted to show you. So I'm going to get some green paint in here in my palette. Let's use this one. And I'll put in some of my, this is the tree green. And then maybe a little bit of that olive green, but I'm going to keep them just a little bit separate if I can. If they mix, that's fine too. But try and keep some separate though. So just tapping off. Okay. And I want it kind of a thicker consistency. So kind of like that milk consistency. And then what I'm going to do is just put my finger in there. And I'm going to start kind of rubbing, setting it down, and look at that texture, you guys. Isn't that great? I'm rubbing my finger right across. Let's keep going there. Right across. I kind of tap in and then I use my finger to kind of spread it around. And it gives you this beautiful, easy texture for your trees. Now, I feel like, because the trees around here, I might even get it wet a little bit. To kind of soften some of those edges. So I'm using a little bit of water here. And now let's go into, let's see, let's just play with the kind of that yellowy ochre. So how much fun just with your finger? I remember using this technique a lot years ago. But look at that, isn't that fun? I love finding just new fun ways to paint and create some textures. This one artist, I'll have to see if I can look him up. I don't remember him painting trees necessarily, but he did absolutely stunning work. And he painted a lot in this way, which was so surprising to me years ago, because I thought, oh my gosh, here's this amazing painter, and he's painting with his finger. I think he was Chinese or something, because I had to use a translator to watch his things. But look how pretty that is. And then let's go in. And now I might just dab in with the tip of my brush, maybe some darker greens. Just kind of adding some shadowy colors to the bottoms here. And if you want to make these shadowy colors a little bit less defined, because I don't like hard edges, I just go in with a damp, you've seen me do this a lot, just with a damp brush, clean damp brush. You don't want your brush dripping at all, and just start going in and adding to some of these areas that you feel like might be underneath and could use a little bit of shadow. So there, I've got those, and then I'm going to go in and just touch into those So I get rid of that hard line clean, tap my brush on my towel, and look how much interest that just added. Right here. I mean, my goodness. Look at that tree. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is fantastic. And then where I did that, you know, I used my finger, it's kind of falls to the background, which is great because it looks like it's behind the tree, like the different areas of the tree, which I love. I'm going to add in a little bit of this gold color. You could even add in, let's add in a tiny bit of orange, because I know the trees around here get a lot of orange on them. Oranges and yellows. And then I'm going to go in and just a damp brush, because I don't want those hard edges. Look at the light. Isn't that so pretty? So easy, you guys. And this is, you know, painting like this is fun to me. I can't wait to get in my studio, grab my brush, and paint using some of these techniques. It's like, oh, this is fun. I want to see what I can do. So there's some more of that. Now I go in with a thirsty brush. So I've blotted it off with my towel and just touching the tip in. Maybe a little bit more of that green here and there, like right in here. And I'm really just following the watercolors, what they kind of did on their own. They somewhat made these lines and I'm just following them. Now that damp, thirsty brush, just barely touching the tip to the edge of those dark areas. I just want to feather them out a bit. Look, isn't that almost amazing how easy that is? Then we could do some little grassy areas if we wanted down there. Now this wasn't part of what I was going to originally do. Where is my fan brush? Well, I guess I could use this one. And I'm just going to pick up, haven't got enough paint on there. There we go. I feel like I want to make that a little bit darker. Sometimes I have to fan those out so they're a little bit more. Let me get some more paint on there. So they're a little bit more separated and not all stuck together. Fan brushes are so fun. You can really do some fun things with them. Look at that, you guys. Look at all the depth and interest in that. So I hope you'll use this on the next time you want to paint a fun little fall tree. The last thing I was going to do is just go in with a dark brown and maybe add in just a few little branches here. So some of them look like they're a little bit more in front. Like that. Maybe make this. Look a little bit more. Look at how fun. Okay, so there you go. I hope you'll use this technique to paint your next little tree or landscape. I'm going to be playing with some landscapes coming up, so I think this will be really fun. And look at that. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here with me in my little community. Don't forget to sign up September 13th, Friday the 13th, to be notified if you want to come check out the live I'll do with them. They'll be $10 off too that day. So I will see you all soon. Happy painting, but most of all, have fun, friends. Bye-bye.